Hey, this is Doug Small with another thought for the day. We produce these Monday through Friday to hopefully let you rethink prayer. Well, I've been hitting you pretty hard this week. E.M. Bounds, I'm back to him again. E.M. Bounds says prayer should not be regarded as a duty, which must be performed, but as a privilege to be enjoyed. Indeed, as a rare delight that is always revealing some new beauty. In truth, prayer is both a duty and a delight and a privilege. The great privilege of prayer is that we get to go to God and ask Him for things. Imagine that. Ancient peoples didn't ask their gods for things. They pleaded for certain things, but this God invites you to come boldly to His throne of grace. But that's the privilege of prayer. The duty of prayer is, since you have access to God, you should pray for others, particularly those who have no access to Him in the status of being His children, having been saved, having been redeemed, having been regenerated. And of course, the heart of prayer, the great delight of prayer, is time in His presence for the sheer pleasure of His presence. A.J. Gordon said, "You can do more after you have prayed, but you cannot do more than pray until you have prayed." It's the foundation. It's the starting point. Wesley gave the first hour in private prayer, the second hour in prayer with someone else if he could find them, and then every hour through the day, even on horseback, he would say, "I prayed, I prayed, I prayed." The goal is not to pray. The goal is to live a life of prayer, a life of dependence upon God. The goal in John 15 language is to abide in Him. Then you can ask, not only for yourself, but for others, and then you'll bear fruit. You won't be a barren branch. Andrew Balmar, I love him. He said, "Oh, brother, pray. In spite of Satan, pray. Spend hours in prayer. Rather neglect your friends than not pray. Rather fast and lose your breakfast and your dinner and your tea and your supper and your sleep than not pray." We must not talk about prayer. We must pray. And we must pray in right earnest. The Lord is near. Indeed, He is. And He comes softly while virgins slumber. I picked up this passage a few days ago where the writer of Hebrews says, without faith it's impossible to please God. He that comes to God. See, the purpose in your coming to God in prayer is that you might please God. You cannot please God. You cannot live a life pleasing to God. You want God to look down from heaven and say, "That's my son, that's my daughter. I'm so proud of him." You want to see God coming over to the balcony of heaven with a group of celestial beings or people who have gone on before and say, "You knew him on the earth. Look at him now. Look at her now. I'm so proud of that one." But you cannot please God unless you deeply depend upon Him, because the life that He's called you to live can't be lived in human strength. It's a supernatural life. And you can only live this kind of life with supernatural energy. But there's more here. Without faith it's impossible to please God. He that comes to God must believe. You must believe that He is, that is, He exists. You must believe something else when you come to God in prayer. It's not explicit in the passage, it's implicit. You must believe not only that He exists, you must believe that He's able to do whatever you're asking Him to do. But there's a third thing. You must believe that He is a rewarder of those that diligently seek answers? No. Breakthrough? No. Healing? Nope. A miracle of some kind? Provision for needs? No. Him. The goal of your prayer is God Himself. It's not to lay hold of this, not to lay hold of that. 650 times in the Bible, There's prayer requests. About 450 times there are answers. So God answers people who pray. He doesn't answer prayers per se. That is, He doesn't answer a set of words. He answers people. But the real payoff in prayer is not answers. See, answers are what you've prescribed. Answers are the medicine you've prescribed for your own sickness, for your own problems. You've written this prescription and you've asked the doctor to sign off. And you want that appropriation. But the real payoff is not answers. It's rewards. Rewards are what weren't even on your radar screen. Rewards are what God makes up for you. Rewards are what God knows that you need that you didn't even realize that you need. Rewards are what you would have never thought of. Pow, plop, zam, bam. Where do these things come from? It comes not from seeking something from Him, but seeking Him. Not from seeking His hand, but from seeking His face. We got a lot of work to do in how we think about prayer. Hey, this is Doug Small. Monday through Friday, I'm dropping these little thought of the days about prayer. God bless you.